Is this you? What's up, it's Joey Thurman. Today we're going to talk about the anterior pelvic tilt. What is that? So your hip bone's here, hip flexor shortened, we're tilting forward. This is a bucket of water, that water's falling out. Posterior pelvic tilt, it's the opposite. We've got that butt wink, but water would fall this way. Neutral, hips right in line with the shoulders here. So the anterior pelvic tilt. Now you're probably having short hip flexors. We're sitting down all day long. Your hip flexors, your TFL, your rectus femoris, psoas deep in here. Those are shortened here. So these are overactive. And the glutes and the extensors here, they're underactive. So we need to isolate those and activate those. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna work on releasing the hip flexors, in particular the ones that we can hit right in here through the TFL, the rectus femoris, and for good measure, we're also gonna hit the IT band because I know there's a lot of people that have this syndrome. They also have some IT band issues, so that might help the knee as well. Okay, so we're gonna release those areas, then we're gonna stretch them out, and then we're going to lengthen them by stretching, and then activate the other areas. And also with the anterior pelvic tilt, you might have a weak transverse abdominis, so we're gonna do that too. And then we're going to integrate to get that neuromuscular re-education. Basically, we're telling your body, hey, we have a messed up length-tension relationship here, so let's tell you how you need to be firing and working together so your workout can be much more efficient. Got it? All right, let's begin. Okay, just for sake of time, I'm gonna do one side at a time here. So you grab your foam roller and we're gonna start with the TFL. Okay, so the TFL, you got your ASIs right here, greater trochanter bone here. We're gonna sit on that and we're gonna release that. So it's gonna be about 30 to 60 seconds on that spot right there. So once you feel the spot kind of knot, just want you to hold on that. So we're gonna hold there for 30 or 60 seconds, at least 30, and you roll up a little bit until you find another spot, okay? So we're gonna hang out there until we release that point. From here, we're gonna rotate over, and we're gonna get right on that hip flexor as well, right on the front, and a hold here. You just want to feel it release. You don't want to be on the bone, okay? We don't want to try to release that. I'll hold from there. Now also, once we're getting this hip flexor, we're going to go down and get the rectus femoris. So the part right on the part of your quad is also a hip flexor. So we're just going to roll down a little bit. You're definitely going to feel it. That's prone to getting really tight. Right there, you're going to feel a knot. Yep, I got it. Just hang out there. 30 to 60 seconds and then find another knot, okay? Take your time with this. Now, as I mentioned before, I like to hit that IT band, which helps with that lateral stabilization. So I'm just gonna go to the side here. The IT band runs from right on the outside part of your hip down to the outside part of your kneecap. Okay, so we're gonna roll all the way up and down. So we find that knot here, and we're just gonna hold on it 30 to 60 seconds. Now from there, you obviously want to hit both sides. Now we're going to stretch out the hip flexor. So we're going to do just a kneeling hip flexor stretch. Now if you're in an anterior pelvic tilt, just simply going into a posterior pelvic tilt will stretch out that area and the rectus femoris as well. So I'm going to go on one knee, go into a tilt, squeeze my glute, lean forward here. I'm getting that nice stretch through. Now if you want to, you can come up, you can reach, you can rotate and really get a deeper stretch with it. So you want to hold that there at least 30 seconds to about a minute. We're going to do both sides. You can also come down and get that quad stretch as well. So we're holding there, getting a nice stretch of the hip flexors. Once again, we just go into posterior pelvic tilt and we squeeze the glutes. I'm going to feel a deeper stretch to there, okay? So now that we've lengthened that area, we need to do some activation techniques. So we're gonna go right into a bridge. Just gonna lay down here. Now a lot of people you see doing this, they try to get as high as they possibly can and they have an arch here. That's not what we're trying to do. So what you wanna do is go into the posterior pelvic tilt here. Weight is through my heels. So you notice the balls of my feet are in the air. So I'm driving down through the ground. You get that tilt, drive up, squeeze through my glutes. Now, if I'm not feeling this in my glutes, I'm feeling it just in my hamstrings. That's called synergistic dominance. You can walk your heels in a little bit. Okay, so you're not trying to get as high as you can, because that's all that's gonna do is get that excessive lower back arch again. So get that tilt, squeeze through, pause for count 2, drop down from the hips, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come right back up into that squeeze. Okay, we're gonna hit about 15 to 20 of these. Up, squeeze through. Yeah, I can feel my butt working. There we go. Now from here, we wanna activate your core, especially transverse abdominis. So you can just go into a regular plank and hit that and think about driving down plank hard as a board and pulling your elbows in towards your toes and toes in towards your elbows. That's great, and you will feel that, but what I like to do is a long lever plank. So we're gonna extend out a little further. So we're gonna go into a regular plank position, normally where your elbows are aligned with the shoulders. Come here, and then from here, walk the feet back. So that extends that lever, so that transverse abdominis is forced to contract. So here, I'm gonna tuck my butt down, squeeze my glutes, posterior pelvic tilt, hold there. About 30 seconds is a good time frame. If you need to drop, take a breather, then go right back up. Just do a few sets of that, okay? Make sure it's quality over quantity, okay? So we've inhibited, we released, we stretched, we activated, and now we want to integrate. Okay, so we work on the neuromuscular re-education. So this, we're gonna do a back lunge with the chest press. Now we're gonna do a back lunge with a chest press. So we're gonna hit the glutes, we're gonna stabilize through the abs and press out, okay? So you can do this with cables. I simply have a band tucked into the door, make sure that door is tight, okay? And you can also do a step up onto a chair where you're balancing as well and then bracing through the core, okay? Make sure the form is on point and you're getting that pause through. So I'm gonna step forward, I have tension on the band. I'm gonna step back, weight through my front heel, come down. As I come up, I'm gonna pause, press out here, bracing through my abs, controlling back slowly, up, pause through. There it is. So as I'm coming up, I have a nice neutral spine, driving through. So here, I'm forced to brace through my abs and stabilize through my glute here. Now from the other side, it looks like this. Come back, up, stabilize, brace, drive through, and control down. Now if you need to drop that foot down, that's absolutely fine. To gain that balance, come up, neutral, squeeze this glute here, brace through the abs, drive through. We're gonna hit about 15 of those each side. All right, I'm gonna do this a few days a week, especially before getting on a bike, going for a run, or any lower body training. Full body training as well, it'd be great to do. All right, cool.